earth is my home. I promise to keep it healthy and beautiful. I will love the land, the air, the water, and all living creatures. I will be a defender of my planet. Unite.
My name is Commissioner Frank Avila, and I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And the name of our show today is Health and Wellness Lifestyle and Nutritional Health. And as my guests, I have Dave Choi, I have Choi Bachewicz, and I have Ron Captain. Captain Ron. Captain Ron.
Thank you.
And on this show, I'm going to present 2 awards. One is to Dave Choi, and the other one is to Choi Bachewicz. But on Dave Choi, each year I present an award to organizations and individuals who has demonstrated exceptional leadership in protecting and promoting a healthy environment. This year, I am honoring plant-based Dave Choi. Dave Choi works to enhance and educate mind, body, and spirit, which sits on top of air, water, and food. And Dave is going to explain what that means. And I'm going to read a quote from Buddha. And this is very important in our society today. It's the secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, nor to worry about the future, but to live the present moment wisely and earnestly. Buddha. Mm-hmm. And that is what Dave is going to explain about mind, body, and spirit, which sits on top of air, water, and food. Choi Bachewicz, he's a independent Univera associates, and Joey B. When I first met Joey, and he still is Joey B. because he does yoga, excellent yoga master. But Joey B. Says that therefore the secret to a modern life is reverting back to the basic of our early ancestors. Eat plant, drink a lot of water, and move.
Exactly.
And move. We have to exercise. Not only that we have to eat plant, drink a lot of water, we have to do something else. We have to move. And that's what Choi Bachewicz mentioned to all of the people here in the United States and probably throughout the whole world.
Pretty soon.
So, yes. And and that is easy to say. It's very easy to say. And that's what Joy says. It's hard to do and even harder to implement.
To get started is really hard.
Yeah. And so with Joey and Dave Choi, being healthy is not an act of love. It's a war, and I have that every day. My weakness is chocolate. and so I have a war with that chocolate every day. And it's a revolution every day. Mm-hmm. So Chef Dave
Yes.
Choi, explain mind, body, and spirit. And you said it sits on top of air, water, and food. And that's why you're getting the award. I like to give it to Dave now, this award, because let me find it here. I'm going to give Dave this award here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm very honored.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So, mind, body, and spirit, we call it one whole body. But no matter what kind of mind and body and spirit exist, without air, water, and food, it doesn't make any living issue. Because we need that air, and we need that water, and we need that food.
Yeah.
So whole logic about 3 most important attachment and detachment that our body does to every moment, is called air. For number one, air. When you inhale oxygen. When you exhale, what do you exhale? CO2. So attachment and detachment. And when you drink water, it hydrates your body. But after that, what you need to do? You need to go pee. Otherwise, you're in big trouble. And then number three, when you eat those food, what do you need to do? You need to go to the bathroom and poop. Yeah. If you don't do it, you're in serious problem. So these three elements, your body is doing automatically for you every day, whether you're happy or sad or angry or excited.
Yes.
So if you could remind yourself that I'm living on simple as air, water, and food, everything else becomes gratitude and grateful gift, just living. It is a recognition of how grateful you are to live in this moment by nourishing with air, water, and food. That makes life much simpler and easier because it is gift that people doesn't recognize.
And when you mention air, water, and food, we have a lot of food out there, and a lot of different type of food.
Mm-hmm.
What type of food are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the earthly grounded food. That means type of food that's grounded to the earth, not flying, not swimming, not jumping around. I'm talking about food without an eye, which is all plant-based food.
All plant-based food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, as I mentioned before the show, I'm Commissioner Frank Avila, and I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And you talk about drinking, and during the day you have to eliminate your pee.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned you eat, and as that food processed through our body, we eliminate it through our poop.
Right.
And we get that in our plant, and they want us to remove all the toxic chemicals, pharmaceutical drugs, cosmetics ingredients in the treatment of the human waste. And I was thinking, why are we spending 1.1 or 1.2 billion dollars at the end to remove all of these toxic chemicals or ingredients we have in our waste? Why don't we start at the beginning, prevention? And I think this is what you're talking about, prevention.
Well, first of all, we have this thing called mindset, having a power of translation. So anything that human being translate what is edible, what is drinkable, what is shootable, it all becomes in the name of ego. We translate all the different types of food to make that edible. We don't call T-bone steak or filet mignon. We don't call it part of the cow. We just call it as a name of food. That's the power of mind and ego. It's been handed over for thousands of years. Now we are suffering in 21st century with all kinds of different free radical and disease accumulate by this kind of lifestyle.
And yes, we are living longer, but how are we living? And how are our kids going to live with all these different types of toxic chemicals in our food, antibiotics, steroids coming from our livestock? I mean, it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm. So simple element is to understand your body's desire to those new movement called changing your lifestyle.
Yes. I'm going to, as I mentioned, this is, I'm giving out 2 awards, one to plant-based Dave Choi, and our second award is to Joy Bachewicz. And this award is, and both awards for Chef Dave Choi and Joy, I call him Joy, or Joy B sometimes I call him. This is in recognition of educating health and wellness, lifestyle, and nutritional health. And this is Joy's award because they both Joey and Dave are doing an excellent job in educating our children, our teenagers, our middle-aged people, our seniors. You know, it goes from kindergarten all the way up to 100 years old. This is what they're doing, and I really enjoy going to their lectures. I enjoy eating Dave's plant-based food, and I enjoy Joey's supplement that he has called Univera.
Thank you.
And so here's your award, Joey.
Thank you very much. It's an honor, Commissioner. Thank you very much.
So Joey, why did you start doing supplement and working along with
Well,
the well-known chef Dave Choi?
yeah, first of all, I'm a student of Chef Dave.
Okay.
And I've been a student of his for now probably almost 18, 19 years, probably almost 20 years. And the reason I think I'm sitting here today, and the reason I really tied in with Chef Dave, is that I had cancer twice.
Twice?
Okay. The first time I had it, I mean, it was a shock. I mean, this doesn't happen to Joey Bachewicz. This happens to everybody else in the world, but not to me, you know. And I went through it, and, you know, I had like 3 doctors looking at it. They go from one guy to another, and they send me out to Philadelphia. And the doctor says, hey, you may lose your eye, but you're not going to die. And I go, thank you, thank you, thank you. Then I got it again. About maybe 9 years later, I got cancer again. And I said, wow, there's something. I got to be able to do something. And through Dave and my own research, I found out that, hey, lifestyle is probably as critical as you could get on what your lifestyle is. And what's your lifestyle? Your lifestyle is how you live, how you eat, what you drink, and what kind of movements and stuff you have. And you know, just to bring up a couple points that you said that we're tying into, is that we're living longer. But I disagree with you. We're not living longer. We're dying later. And there's to me, that's the biggest difference in the world. I mean, I want to be like you. I want to be able to dance and tell jokes, and maybe someday we'll be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
But I want to win first and you second. But that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Number 1 and number 2.
So I started looking, and I said, you know, I don't want to be a cancer survivor. People are going, you know, I'm a cancer survivor. I don't want to be a cancer survivor. I want to be a cancer thriver. And I think because of what Dave has been teaching me, and Dave just doesn't talk the talk, he walks the walk. He's been feeding me now for almost maybe over 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
And because of him, I got on a predominantly plant-based diet.
Yes.
And I started doing research on it. I said, man, listen, I'm a 2-time loser. I don't want to get it the 3rd time. You know, so how do you do it? And one of the things that you know, that I learned from Dave is that you can control what you put in your mouth. Okay, I mean, you don't have to eat something that you don't have to eat. You don't have to eat something you don't want to eat, and you don't have to eat what's out there. You could choose what you put into your mouth. So I started looking into a plant-based diet with Dave. He started providing me food. And then I started looking into into what plants do. And besides plants nourishing you, plants can also can help you and build up your immunity and fight things like inflammation. And a plant-based diet is really the way to go. And then I was introduced to Univera, which are plant-based nutraceuticals. And you know, when I met Dave and I told him about it, and you know, he said, Joey, hey, wait a minute, you know, I'm 2 years older than you. I got the body of a 20-year-old. I don't need this stuff. So you know, when I met him, I said, okay, you know, Dave, that's okay. And then he was in his car, and I took 4 little bottles, and I tapped on a window. I threw it in there like a terrorist and ran away. So then he calls me up the next day, and I just read 2 books on the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
And the Dalai Lama had to go to confession because he ate biscuits after 3 o'clock. So like a Catholic, he had to go to confession. So I'm figuring that Dave Choi calls me up, and he's got to give them back to me because he can't throw this stuff out. Yeah. So I meet him, and he says, hey, Joe, how do I want to get some more of this stuff. How do I do it? I said, Dave, he said, Joey, this stuff really works.
Yeah.
then what he said is, Joey, I can't get, he buys his food from Buddhist monasteries.
Yes.
He buys it from local. He does he was doing this 20 years before everybody else
time.
was doing it.
Yeah.
Now he's doing it, but he says, Joey, I can't get this stuff from Tibet. I can't get the concentrations of this stuff you get from China and South Africa. So I got into that. Then I started doing research, and I said, man, what are we doing? What is modern man doing? And I started looking, and I said, well, what did we do when 100 years ago, or 500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, or 6,000 years ago? We ate plants. Why did we eat plants? It's hard to go out and shoot a mammoth.
They were big, you're right.
It's hard to catch a rabbit. What do? You eat stuff that you could pick.
They were big,
right?
Yeah.
And then I looked and I said, wait a minute. These guys, they didn't pick up a power drink, and they didn't pick up, orange juice, and they didn't have soft drinks. What did they do? They drank water. I talked to Dave about this. This guy got me up to almost a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
His answer whenever, hey, Dave, I got this problem. Drink more water. Hey, Dave, I got this one. Drink more water.
Well, there have been studies if people are sick and there's a limited amount of food, if they have water will make them survive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just as one plug on water, I think is really important. I got it from him first thing in the morning. Before you have anything else, you drink 2 or 3 cups of water, glasses of water, and it'll flush out, because you're going at nighttime. You're cleaning out all the toxins you get through your body. And then the other thing, I'm going, why is all this stuff going on? I mean, did our ancestors and our great ancestors, did they have the metabolic syndrome? That's what everybody's talking about. You put on any medical store, they're talking about the metabolic syndrome. What is it? It all starts with inflammation. Then you have either high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high insulin, or high glucose. If you have any one of them, you're going to get all of them, and they're indicative of little bitty fat around the stomach. And when you look at it, your grandfather, my grandfather, we have probably more toxicity coming into our body in one day than they had in their entire lifetime. Going downtown Chicago, just walk around there for 2 or 3 hours. You're breathing in more toxins than our forefathers did in their entire life. So how do you fight it? You got to fight it by pure water, by breathing air, by eating plants. Eat plants, that's what our forefathers did, and move. And people, you look at it, and I've studied some of our, different athletics and different modes and everything like that. Interesting thing. Do you know that the average man 20,000 years ago and 50,000 years ago was as fast as the fastest athletes we have today? They weren't running for a gold medal. They were running from saber-toothed tigers. They moved. But then you look at it, and elite athletes, the best athletes in the world, they don't live as long as some of the couch potatoes around there. But the important thing is to move. And when I looked at what our ancestors were doing, you know what they were doing? They were walking. Labor, when they went to work, they were physical. What do? We sit behind a computer, we sit around and talk, and we don't, you go to a health club. People race around looking for the closest parking space, and then they'll go on a treadmill or on the Stepmaster before it.
Yeah. So then David provides the mind, body, and spirit, along with the air. The air is the good Lord provides the air.
Right. Water and food.
Water and food.
So
and
that's why this 3 gift is from Mother Earth, not from the Father Earth.
Yeah.
So.
And so then, how did you have to meet Captain Ron? Where did Captain Ron? Was he out on a boat on Lake Michigan, on a charter boat fishing for fish, or?
No. Well, that's only between the months of May and September. The rest of the time he's in Thailand, and it sounds like the Garden of Eden. He says, well, I go out, they pick fruit, and they have papaya growing all over the place. They have a fresh market, and every day they don't have refrigerators because they get everything fresh. And
So, Captain Ron, how did you happen to meet? Who did you meet first? Dave Choi? No, it must have been Joey. Because Joey.
I met
So
Joey
how
earlier
did you happen to meet Joey?
Gosh, where were we? I was introduced from one person to another that had a common interest.
Yeah,
is
a
what
common
interest.
yes.
A common
to stay
interest.
healthy.
To stay in wellness, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only disease that I've really been challenged with is aging.
Aging.
And in the process of aging, surfaces all this metabolic syndrome that Joey was talking about. And, a little bit after 40, I have doctors putting me on blood pressure medication, then it becomes 2 of them, and then it's statins for cholesterol medication, and
Yes.
then I went
It
through.
piles on, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I had a little challenge with the blood sugar. Mine was hypoglycemia, and instead of hyper, which means I had low blood sugar because of too much insulin pumping in. And so the end result is I had to acknowledge and take upon some corrective lifestyle changes to bring it about. And when I was raised very primitively in Minnesota as a Norwegian immigrant kid, and many times the doctors had said to me, you know, you've been kind of taking a free ride on this life, and it's catching up with you now with your lifestyle, because you had all organic foods in that environment, and you had lots of exercise in that environment, and now you've been spending 30 years as a corporate executive, and you have not maintained that same program that you used to have. And I retired in 1990, I went into yacht racing, and I just physically beat myself up. Then I added cortisone shots into my feet and into my shoulders.
Yeah.
Wound up having surgery in my right shoulder while I was in Bangkok. And so many challenges. That
So you happen to come across Univera. How did you happen to come across Univera?
I was gifted with Univera at a farmer's market. I was out looking for some more of those farm fresh products that I could put into my body, and this young farmer saw that I was unable to even lift a little 6-cob bag of corn, you know, and he said, hey man, you need some of this. And that's how I got introduced, and within a matter of a week I could just feel the correction coming about in my body. Actually, it was so bad I hadn't slept in a bed for 1.5 years. I had to sleep in a lazy boy chair with a sling on my arm, all the aftermath of the yacht racing and the shoulder surgery that was done, and not healing.
And this is what Dave Choi preaches.
Yep.
Dave Choi preaches what? Mind, body, and spirit again, right? Air, water, and food. And I know that we have a busy life throughout the day. And so Dave provides and explains at any of his seminars. He gives an awful lot of seminars. And we're very fortunate to have Dave Choi based in Chicago. Naturally, he goes out throughout the whole United States and in the international. But we're very fortunate to have Chef Dave Choi here, that he met Joey met Ron, and they came together because Dave, you know, we have a hectic life and we cannot eat all these plant-based foods or prepare it.
Right.
So you are working with Joey to supplement that. If a person has a busy life, he could get Univera to supplement his plant-based food. What do you think?
Well, first of all, you know, we are not perfect. You know, human beings are not creation of perfection. So we make a whole bunch of mistakes every given moment, every given day.
Yeah.
But we could recognize those mistakes as soon as possible to correction. You know, that's what we call meditation. So what Univera brings to Joey and Captain Ron, if they turn that offer down, they'd be still suffering, you know, broken old men, but they decide to accept the offer, and their body felt the change. So healing always comes, no matter how old you are, no matter how broken you are, when you decide to accept as a gift. then everybody could change. Change means new breath of life. Just like when you inhale, if you don't exhale, you're dead. And when you exhale, if you don't inhale, you're dead.
Yes.
So if you don't feel that, go to nearest swimming pool, practice that. So why did you get up? You just simply get up to breath that one scoop of air.
Yeah, you know, Dave, you talk about mind. We have to change our mindset, and Choi and Ron changed their mindset. But what can you tell the public on how to really change their mind? Because, you know, as I mentioned, my weakness is chocolate, and so, but my mindset is try to avoid it. What can you talk to the public to see how they could change their mindset to start eating healthy?
Well, your minds are so complicated with full of ego. So if you tell someone to do this for the rest of your life, they'll try to kill you. You know? But instead, you ask them to do it for 3 days, 2 days,
Yeah.
and listen to your body. If your body is telling you good simple signal of feeling good, then extend it to another 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. That becomes week, a month, and year. And then plus, if the product like Univera sustain and boost that kind of a regimen for body to adapt, that's going to be a tremendous result. Just doing it alone,
Yes.
And then Captain Ron, you could explain how this Univera was created by the chairman.
Well, very fortunately, we have a person that by the name of Bill Lee that has the wherewithal, the financial wherewithal to create and establish a largest plant-based library, working library in the world, and also be able to implement 2 genomic labs, one in Seattle and one in South Korea, and be able to study these plants at the DNA level, and the way in which these plant particles can actually impact the wellness of the DNA of a human being. The body replaces 300 billion cells a day. And the question is, does the body replace those cells with better cells or less good cells? The end result of replacing with better cells is that you're going to improve your performance, improve your appearance, and improve the energy level that you can maintain your life and get started moving. And once you start moving, energy begets energy, and plant life supports that energy that you need, as opposed to synthetic type energy that comes from coffee or these energy drinks that are loaded with sugar and caffeine. The opposite of that is to actually have energy from cell renewal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been an excellent topic.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
And it's an honor to get this award.
I